Listen, we still got this. Ready?
Drop the beat! Let's just call this good old-fashioned revenge.
I'm here. Who needs their ass kicked?
What are you doing here?
Man, put yourself in my shoes.
You are so smug. You know that?
Hey, I had nothing to do with this.
Hi, I'm sorry. Who are you?
Ugh, just want to bite him in his stupid little face. Yeah, well, it's a story of my life, I guess.
Well, I got a news flash for you. Could somebody get a microphone? Because this would be a perfect time to drop it.
Hello, everybody. I'm Trisha Hirschberger, and welcome to another installment of Hey Fandom, our new interview series where we bring fans and creators together. I'm very excited to speak to our guest, Nolan North, today, but of course, while I have plenty of questions for Nolan, we would love to hear yours too. If you want to ask a question live on video, make sure that you hit that raise hand icon at the bottom of the screen, or if you have a text question that you'd like to send, you can hit the question mark at the bottom of the screen as well. Also, if you're watching this currently on YouTube and want to ask a question, join us over at Shindig. The link should be in the description. We want to take a quick moment to thank our charity partner for Hey Fandom, Direct Relief. Direct Relief is working globally to provide protective equipment and essential medical items to health workers responding to COVID-19. If you'd like to donate to this great cause, please go to fandom.link/donate. Okay, now let's get to our guest. Nolan North has a huge list of credits, both on camera and as a voice actor. Video game fans, of course, know him as Nathan Drake in the Uncharted series and Desmond Miles in the Assassin's Creed games. He's also the Penguin in the Batman Arkham series, has voiced Deadpool numerous times, including in the Deadpool video game, was Raphael in 2007's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, and has voiced Superman in a ton of Lego DC animated movies. His on-camera roles include Star Trek Into Darkness and Pretty Little Liars, and on top of all of that, he'll soon be heard as Iron Man in this fall's new Marvel's Avengers game. A huge fandom welcome to Nolan North. Welcome, Nolan.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
Thanks for having me.
So happy to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, I'm thrilled. This is going to be a lot of fun.
So how are you holding up during quarantine life?
You know what? Knock on wood. Nobody in my family's gotten sick. We've been hunkered down, staying healthy, and I got to be honest with you. I've actually kind of enjoyed it. It was kind of a reset. It was nice. Our kids are 17 and 20, and they're there, and we haven't had that much time together as a family. Since they were little. So we've made the most of it.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's the silver lining in all of this, is we all get a lot more family quality time. I guess it's a silver lining if you enjoy your family.
Yeah, could be a nightmare. You know, this. I think I read somewhere that there's been a high number of divorces filed since everything started. So people have been re-examining some of their earlier choices. Apparently, I don't think you can divorce your kids. No. I should look into it.
Well, have you been doing any recording from home? And tell us a little bit about what that process has been like.
Yeah, it took a global pandemic to get me to do clean my garage, and B, to actually put a sound booth in my house.
All right.
And I've known a bunch of people who've had proper sound booths. It doesn't have to be anything very fancy either. I had a couple engineer friends tell me that they would come out and could do a whole studio and we'll set you all up and you get the Pro Tools board and this over here. And I'm like, I won't know how to use that anyway. And it literally was just getting good soundproofing through into a smaller closet, a laptop, a good mic, and a small compressor. And slowly but surely, some of the companies started coming around going, we really need to get some work done. Would you mind doing it from home? I've never done so many jobs in pajamas before. You can usually you can keep that camera off, but usually it's waist down. So it's just as long as you look presentable. It's been great. It's been eye opening. Saves so much time because a lot of people know in LA the traffic is just brutal, and sometimes I would be driving, an hour and a half to do 5-6 line pickups for 10 minutes and then an hour and a half home. It's more than 3 hours of something that can be literally done in 10, 15 minutes. So That's been a bright spot. I'm hoping more companies will do it. And maybe it's going to be kind of the future of certain recording. I know a lot of companies are doing it. They're working remotely. Yeah, look at you working remotely there, right?
Yeah,
I love the backdrop.
The video game streamer life where you can work in pajama pants every day and no one cares. And for voice acting, you're right. You're saving all that commute time. So
yep.
I know you have NDAs and you can't talk about all the different things that you're working on. But would it be safe to say that you might even be more prolific during lockdown?
I could be. Yeah, there's been some things. You mentioned in the intro about the Avengers that comes out soon. Very, very excited for that. You know, I think Nathan Drake was such a great character to play, and I wasn't sure if I was going to, you know, get like my Han Solo moment. You know, if Indiana Jones was Harrison Ford's Nathan Drake, this is my Han Solo, I think, you know, to get to play another iconic character like that. So a lot of fun, really looking forward to it. And I'm really, really excited about it because it's some of the best gameplay I think I've ever seen or been part of. What they did with this game, it's amazing. So, I mean, it's really going to appeal to people who like narrative story, but they really like great gameplay. So I think it's going to be a hit for everybody.
Awesome. I love that teaser. Okay, for everybody watching at home, we're going to be taking fan questions in just one moment. So a little reminder that if you want to join us to ask a question live on video, hit that raise hand icon at the bottom of the screen. Or if you have a text question that you'd like to send in, you can hit the question mark at the bottom of the screen. So I believe we have a video question coming in from Dean. Let's see if we can get Dean pulled up here on video so that you can ask Nolan your question.
Hey, Dean.
How are you?
I'm good. I know Dean. Dean's a replayer.
For sure. Okay. My question. So at the start of Retro Replay, did you ever think that the community would grow to be as extensive and awesome as it has done?
No, that was always the hope. But this is my first foray into anything on the internet like this, any type of streaming or YouTube type experience. And I think it was Jacksepticeye that told us, the community's everything. And if you can build something where people start leaning on each other and start, they build the community. We don't. We kind of just introduce it and cross our fingers and hope. And it worked. He was right. And he's doing quite well with his community. But he's no matter how many millions of followers and subscribers he has, he said he still remembers like the first 10, 20, 30,000 that he had, and how keeping that feel when he's streaming was so vital to his success. And yeah, one of my favorite parts of being part of Retro Replay, where I am today, we snuck out of quarantine to come down. We made this place sanitized. Drew is completely he's completely in a plastic bubble. We wrapped him in saran wrap and kept him away, and he has a snorkel to breathe out of. But it's a limited number of people that we get to come down and to do this. But the community is what makes it. And I love going on when I'm able to get on the live chats and people are in there, and there's Pyro with the death counter. There's and I think it's now more people have streamed. Oh, I know Dean does streaming, and Pagan, everybody. I mean, just you start to know these people by name, and they live all over the world. So I never knew it would get this big. I wanted to get bigger because everybody's so supportive. It's one of my favorite things is when somebody's had a bad day, or somebody gets hurt, or somebody's sick, or they lost a pet or a friend or a family member. People just rally around that, and it's self-sustaining, and that's why it's so important to I just like to come down and be a goof and give you a few laughs. And you guys do all the the hard work or all the love out there. So I just sit here. I just receive it. At this point, it's like I put the content out, but I feel like I'm the audience because I get to see all that stuff come back, and I think that's what's made it so worthwhile. Love you guys.
That's awesome. Thank you, Nolan, and thank you for your question, Dean. I believe we have another video question coming up next from Mina. So let's see if we can pull up Mina's video now so you can ask Nolan your question. Hi, Mina.
Hey, Nolan. I'm a huge mega fan of yours. You're actually one of the reasons I got into gaming, like Assassin's Creed 3. That was like my first big game. So, yeah.
That's the one I died in. Why would you bring that up?
I don't know. It's just like I saw a cool like Connor figurine in like a Walmart. And I was like, well, that's cool. I got to get that game.
Yeah, it actually was a very cool game. That they're throwing hatchets. That's the funny thing about Assassin's Creed. It was great to play Desmond Miles, but I like Altair, Ezio, Connor. Those were the stars of those games. Yeah. I was happy to be a through line of it and to be part of it. Yeah, well, it was fun to be part of a through line. Yeah. But they're beautiful games. I mean, they're so much fun. I personally really liked. I haven't played them all, but Black Flag.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's my favorite.
Yeah, that was. I mean, the pirate ship battles. Come on.
Yeah,
so
come
epic.
On. Can't be that. My question.
What's your question? Sorry, I'm taking up the
time. What character that you've played would you say is the most emotionally or mentally demanding, and why? That's a big one. I know.
No, you know what? The hardest character I ever played, and it was, and I don't like to get too heady about things. I'm kind of a keep it simple, stupid kind of person. Excuse me. I played in Mafia 3. A really difficult character. He was a massive racist who the game's set in during the Civil Rights Movement, 1967, and I played. I had to do motion capture for it, and we worked with these African American actors, and I had to do a couple scenes where I am spewing the most hatred. And when you see it on paper as an actor, I was like, I want to do this because they're doing it right. And I talked to a few people, and and it's important because some people might not know about what happened, and it's based on true events. And some people might not have paid attention in class or wasn't taught properly. And their view, and I applauded it for them. Applaud them for it. Excuse me. Was maybe we teach people to reinvestigate what's going on, what happened, and we can learn from history. Well, when it's on paper, it's one thing, and then when you get there and you have to say these words to another human being, even when you're just playing make believe, you're just acting. They called action on the first scene, and I went up, and I just froze, and I said, "I'm sorry. Could we just take 10 minutes, 10, 15?" And we just started. And I grabbed the other actors and I said, I think I got to talk to you guys. I got to get permission here because this is, and we all kind of talked about it. And I've never done that before. I've never had to, but it was, it was hard. It was really hard. And Alan Tudyk, the actor, is a really good friend of mine. He was in 42. And he has a scene where Jackie Robinson, the baseball player, is at bat. And he is yelling in front of a crowd of extras in this baseball stadium. I mean, repeated N-word and all this stuff. And I called him after the session and I said, I feel gross. I don't think there's a shower that can clean me. I mean, what? And he said, I know. And we talked a lot about it. And he said, it was really hard. He said, the good thing is know that because it's hard, you don't know that kind of hatred in your heart, and I think that was something you just can't believe that this is like a real story. This is a real historical events. It was hard. It was just hard. And I don't want to, poo-poo it. Somebody just turned off a light over here. What happened there? Did you see that?
I didn't see anything. No, it looks the same.
I don't know. People are unplugging things around me. It's going to go out. Watch, my face is going to light up. I look like I'm in there it is.
I didn't see anything. It's just nothing happened.
Oh, see, so I shouldn't have called attention to it.
You look great. You're doing great. Nolan, thank you so much for sharing that story. And Mina, thank you so much for your question.
For answering my question.
Thanks, man.
Yay.
Appreciate it.
All right, next up we have a text question from Joey. Okay. So we're going to pull that up here for you, Nolan. Joey says, I think you once said you didn't see Wahlberg as Sully, but how do you feel about Tom Holland playing Nathan Drake?
Okay, I actually just talked to somebody about this. Yeah, I remember somebody said I mentioned something somewhere, and the next thing I know, it's all over the internet for 2 days, and then it's gone. But I like Mark Wahlberg. I do. He's a New England guy like me. When they announced him as Sully, I was kind of like, oh, that's interesting. But I wasn't sure. I was like, I don't really see that. But when you look at it in the context of what they're going to do with the movie, I think it's a good choice, and I think Tom Holland is a good choice too. Why not? They're going to, movies historically from video games don't do all that well. But where was Nathan Drake in his 20s? We never see that. We introduce him when he's in his early 30s, and then there's a flashback in Cartagena when he's about 14, 15 years old. But where was he in his 20s? What did he and Sully do in their 20s before they, got to the original Uncharted? Well, that's a great idea. That's a great concept. And sure, Tom Holland, you're going to need somebody who's, has some box office status. Wahlberg movies are going to make. I mean, he could go make, The Phone Book starring Mark Wahlberg, and it's gonna do well at the box office. And Tom Holland, he's a Sony guy, so I'm interested. I think because it's part of the whole Uncharted lore that we don't know about. So I'm all for it. Go for it. I think both of them will do a great job, and I'll buy a ticket unless they can comp me a ticket.
Hopefully that could be arranged for you, Nolan.
We don't know. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, there's been so many people attached to Uncharted kind of over the years and in different fan films and stuff, including fan favorite Nathan Fillion as Drake. If you could kind of fan cast it, are there any actors you'd love to see or directors you'd love to see tackle this?
Well, you mentioned this in the intro too. I had 2-3 seconds in Star Trek Into Darkness, but I was there for about 2 weeks doing. We did some other stuff that gets cut. That's just movie business. But I actually got to watch Chris Pine work and sat with him at lunch. And then finally one time in the makeup trailer, I said, "Hey, if a script called Uncharted ever comes across your agent's desks, you should take a good hard look at it, because I think you'd be perfect character for it." And if they were going to do a 1-to-1 type thing, which again, I don't think is a very good idea for video games, because Uncharted is a movie and you're the star of that game. You're the star of that movie because you're Nathan Drake, not me. It's my voice, it's my movements, but you're Nathan Drake. You make the decisions to jump, run, fall off a cliff like I do, whatever. But if they were doing a 1-to-1, Chris Pine I think he's got the everyman quality, the charm, humor. He's just, I really liked working with him. I think he's a good, solid actor and a good guy. So that'd be my top choice, probably.
I would love to see that. That sounds like a very, very cool movie. So sign me up.
But we're going to give it. That shouldn't happen. Tom Holland, fine. Make it. I hope he makes it a hit. But 4 tickets. I need 4 tickets.
Okay.
Maybe a card of the premiere.
Maybe. You can always ask. All right, we've got a video question coming up here from Nevin. Okay. So let's pull up Nevin. Yep, Nevin. So you can ask your question to Nolan. Here we go.
Hey, Nevin.
Oh, wait. Hi.
Hi.
I just want to state real quick. My name is Owen Seiler, and I want to state I'm a huge fan of your work, Mr. North.
Thanks, Owen.
I have pretty much grown up with your voice in stuff. It is just absolutely fantastic. I just got around to playing the Uncharted games for the first time through this quarantine, and I got through the first game, Drake's Fortune, not too long ago, and it is amazing. I love the work you put into it as Nathan Drake.
Thanks.
You're just an all-around great guy. I could just listen to you just talk for hours. I love Retro Replay with you and Troy Baker. You guys are just the bomb. Like, you guys are awesome.
Thanks, bud. I appreciate it. You know, what's funny is like if you've been watching Retro Replay, you saw me play Uncharted for the first time and Uncharted 2, and we're still in the middle. If you're watching at all, I'm playing Uncharted 3 now, and I'm getting better, but I actually play that from home, zooming in with Richard McGonigal, Sully. But yeah, it's that's actually a funny thing about quarantine is actually it got me to play a few other games too. My son actually asked. He said, "What are you going to play?" I'm like, just try something different. I don't know what's out there, and I got the PS Now account kind of thing, and I said, "I'll just play something I'm not in." I don't know. And I just found this old sniper game. I'm like, that kind of could be cool. I'll just check that out. I'm in it. I didn't even know. I was like, it starts out, it's like, if you're the player, the first voice I hear is like, all right, pick up that M16. Come over here to the gun range. Now we're going to be working on short distance targets and long distance targets. I'm going, that's me. And I was like, I don't want to play this. It's me. I had to turn it off. So thank you for being a bigger fan of me than I am, because, without you, I'm nothing, because I talk too much, and I just
honestly, I love it when I hear your thoughts. You're like one of the guys in which you could actually read the phone book, and I wouldn't mind. I could just listen to you for hours.
I'm glad that a guy your age even knows what a phone book is, because
I know, right?
That's the funny thing is people like there are no pay phones on the street like there used to be. There's no phone book. There's no like white pages that look. I think it actually still does exist, but I can't imagine who it's for. I mean, everybody either has a phone or a friend with a phone, or a computer or a friend with a computer. So I don't know. That's a great question. We should look that up. Do phone books ever even exist? Except to, make a short kid a little taller at the dinner table.
That's what they're for now. All right,
That's
Owen,
what they're for.
you so
Thanks,
much
Owen.
for popping in today. And let's actually see if we can get Nevin's video question up next. Let's see if Nevin's available. Oh, here we go.
Nevin?
Welcome, Nevin.
Hi.
Hey, Nevin, how are you?
Good.
What's up? What can I do for you?
So what was it like doing Richtofen for Call of Duty Zombies? And is Richtofen's voice actually hard to do? Because I don't think want to perfect it myself a little bit.
No, Nevin, you see, it's not that difficult. You just have to find the right attitude for Dr. Richtofen. And you just have to be talking about something very simple, but then be able to lose your mind. I hate you, Dempsey. I hate you with the passion of 1,000 suns.
Yeah, what is it? I do like Dempsey. He's my favorite Zombies character.
All right, we're done with Nevin. What do you mean? Dempsey's a fool. He's an American.
Whenever I do play as Richtofen on Solo on Blood of the Dead, I'm like, Dempsey, that douchebag. What did he ever do to Richtofen? What crazy twisted game is that American playing now?
Well, what it is it's just Steve Bloom and I have a very serious rivalry. That's why he's cast as Wolverine and I'm Deadpool. He's Dempsey. I'm Richtofen.
Yeah, even on
I'm gonna get him down here, and we're gonna hash it out on this couch at some point.
Even on Classified as well, I'm like, what twisted game does that American want to play now?
I don't know.
Do a little brain on him. Put him in the dark mechanism. Have a Revelations version of him. Throw the blood vials on the ground and let him die.
You know what? You would be perfect assistant for Richtofen. I mean, you're the guy who actually knows how. You have better ideas than I. You will be Assistant Nevin to Dr. Richtofen. You'll be Nevintofen. You are Nevintofen. Dr. Nevintofen, it is I, Dr. Richtofen. We now must go and just eliminate Dempsey.
I mean, even with Nikolai as well, I'm like, what twisted game does that drunk Russian want to play with a German?
I think Assistant Nevin it is. We figured it out. Nevin, thank you so much for calling.
Thanks, Nevin.
It was lovely to have you. I want to take a quick moment to remind everybody that our great charity partner for Hey Fandom is Direct Relief, and you can donate to them at fandom.link/donate. Also, remember, if you want to ask your question live on video, hit that raise hand icon at the bottom of the screen, or if you have a text question that you'd like to send in, you can hit the question mark at the bottom of the screen for that. Now, Nolan, we saw a bit of you as Iron Man in the sizzle reel as we kicked things off today for the show. But let's take a look at a bit more footage from Marvel's Avengers coming out on September 4th. And then I would love to ask you a bit more about this role.
Sure.
So let's go ahead and see some avenging.
Couldn't Mr. Stark help us with this?
Hi, I'm sorry. Who are you?
Kamala?
This better be good.
Do the Avengers pose a danger to society? That was the question, Bruce. That was the question. We didn't give up, Tony. We failed.
We failed him.
You really think the world is better without us?
Yes.
See, it's always been your problem. Running from who you are, what you are.
If I don't stop them, it's just one more thing to regret on my deathbed.
Now, you've actually played quite a few Marvel heroes at this point, including Giant Man, Cyclops, Rocket Raccoon, and of course, Deadpool. But what's it like taking on Iron Man himself, considering the status he has in pop culture at this point?
You know, it was an honor. You know, that's the short answer. It really is. I'm a huge fan of what Robert Downey Jr. did with the films, and I think one of the biggest challenges was like to separate the performance enough that you honor the character. I did put little bits of sometimes certain phrases would be a little bit of Robert Downey Jr., a little RDJ in there, just as an homage to what he did, without doing an impression or anything like that, because I had to make the character as much my own as possible. But that was a challenge to kind of toe that line. But he looks different, and he's his own. It's his own universe, its own different world, and just to be part of that. What I loved about this was the fact that I think it would have been harder to do like my own Iron Man game and have to carry a game as Iron Man initially. But to be the part of the Avengers, we had just a great cast with Troy and Laura and Travis, Jeff, everybody. And it was so cool to be in there and, living these characters and playing it out. And the director, Shauna Sky, is just a good friend of mine. We've worked on stuff in the past, and there's a lot of trust there. And, it's just to be part of that, to see what it's becoming through the development, and to be part of an ensemble like that. Again, I think the gameplay is going to carry this for people more than anything, because it's amazing. But the story's great, and there's the turns. It was so much fun to go to work every day on this job. So I just can't wait for it to get out, because I do know I do get a free copy. So,
well, we're all excited to get hands on it for sure.
Yeah. I don't think I've been more excited.
Lineup, so cool.
Yeah, I don't think I've been more excited to actually play a game that I've done, and it's not to play as Iron Man, because actually it's like, okay, that's cool as Iron Man, but it was kind of hard for me to do as he's. I think I was inverted. It's like the inverted thing it can change, but there's something so satisfying like being the Hulk and picking up a bad guy and smashing other bad guys with a bad guy, and Black Widow just. Thor's hammer. Oh, the game is so cool. That's it.
Very cool. We're all incredibly excited. I personally can't wait. I'm a huge Marvel fan. Are there any other Marvel heroes that you'd love to take a crack at eventually?
Doctor Strange has a cool cape, kind of like that. I think that'd be cool to mocap. No, I don't really. I don't really kind of. I don't really think about things like that usually. I mean, there's been so many other, people have had. supposed to read for different things in the past, like Wolverine. But Wolverine in the games and in animation, I've always worked with Steve Bloom, who I was just talking about. And I would only be doing a bad Steve Bloom impression. He, to me, is like, well, that's Wolverine. I mean, hey, bub. I mean, he just, when I hear his voice, you think Wolverine. Fred Tatasciore has always done Hulk, and a lot of his, the growls and grunts, and I mean, he's big guy too, so he could actually be perfect in a mocap suit for that. But I don't know. I'm open to suggestions, and if there's people out there who would like, I'd like to see you do this, then I'd be interested in doing something. Hawkeye, but he's just bow and arrow. I don't know. Do you know of any?
Doctor Strange, Hawkeye, I would be on board for all of that. So we'll see if those roles happen to come in the future. But in the meantime, while we're waiting for those roles to come in for you, Nolan, there's a video question from Hannah. So let's see if we can get Hannah pulled up here to ask a question. Hannah, what's your
tiny? It's Tiny Hannah. That's not Hannah. It's Tiny Hannah. Hi.
Hi, Hannah. Hi. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? I just saw Dean. Dean just asked a question earlier.
I know.
Another replayer here.
Yes.
Love it.
We're all here. We're all like cheering you on. All sat watching.
Oh, it's nice. Look where I got to be. We got to sneak into the basement. Exactly.
Had to.
What's happening?
Hannah, what's your question for Nolan today?
So my question for you is, if you could bring any one of your characters to life to spend the day with them, who would it be and why?
Ooh. Wow, that's a great question. I know so many that they wouldn't be. Like David from Last of Us. Wouldn't bring him back.
Oh, no, that wouldn't be good.
Just sit there. We're going to barbecue. Don't worry. I'm going to take you to...
Oh, no.
Just like, can I have some beef ribs? No, we don't want to bring you to the barbecue joint. Who would be fun? Well, if Deadpool didn't kill me, which he probably would, he'd be fun. But I think he would go away after the day, and I'd have to be left with the repercussions. Oh man, I don't know. I mean, oh gosh, I really want to give a good answer here. What would it be? What would it be? Yeah, you did. Anytime Superman from Young Justice, that would be kind of cool because he could take me for, like I could be Lois Lane where he takes me for a flight, and I know he's not going to hurt me. That might be cool. Like, let's go up high. Could go anywhere. Gosh, you know what? Superman, I guess that's not a bad one.
That was pretty good.
I'm kind of going through my mind of like different characters, but
who have I played? I've played so many.
Who would you pick?
Probably Ellie from The Last of Us because she's really badass, or Trico from The Last Guardian because I wanted to.
But who would you pick of my characters?
Oh, I don't know. That's hard. You've done too much.
You stumped me. I stumped you with your own question. Come on.
I didn't think you were going to turn it around on me.
Well, that's what when I don't have a good answer, that's the play. Smoke and mirrors.
What do you think, Hannah? Do you have an answer?
I don't know. I feel like the really basic answer is to just say Nathan Drake.
No, but that's me. It's
cool. It's basically you.
That's it. That's what you know what? I would make Nathan Drake real, and I'd say take him to a climbing gym. Teach me how to do that.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
That's a good answer, actually, yeah.
You can come with us. It'll be the three of us.
Yeah,
you, me, Nathan, and be like, we'll climb something.
Great.
Yep, perfectly valid answer. Hannah, thank you so much for asking this. Thank you for popping in today.
Yeah, bye.
Next up, we have a text question from James Gordon. So let's see what this question is. All right, James Gordon asks, Nolan, you're the reason I became a huge Deadpool fan after your work on Hulk versus Wolverine. What would you like to do with Deadpool performance-wise that you haven't gotten to do yet in a game or animation?
Great question. I did Cyclops in Wolverine and the X-Men and animated series, and it was one of my first series regular roles, and they were writing season 2, and the same writers had been part of it was Greg Johnson and Craig Kyle had actually done the Wolverine Hulk vs. Wolverine, where Deadpool first showed up, and they literally called me in, showed me like the scenes after it was done, and they said, we want you to do what you do between takes and just make up lines. Just here's some guidelines, but make stuff up. So most of that Deadpool stuff in there was just I made up off the top of my head. And I remember it got a stamp of approval at the time from Ryan Reynolds himself, who said, yeah, your guy got Deadpool right, which was huge honor because I'm a huge fan of his anyway. But they were supposed to have a season 2, and there was something going on with I think Disney had bought Marvel, and the show was on a different network and not Disney, and they couldn't. And it was literally just a business decision and technicalities that got that didn't get renewed. But unfortunately, in season 2, Deadpool was going to become a new character on that show. I would love to see if we couldn't do an animated Deadpool. First of all, Deadpool 2 game, I think would be a great thing to do, especially with all of Ryan's success with the movies. And then an animated series, which may have to be on Netflix. But I think it would be great if I think it'd be fun if I did Deadpool, and if like, it'd be great to incorporate Ryan Reynolds as Ryan and Deadpool, because he's had quite a bit of success in that arena. So I would love to. First of all, I'd love to work with him in any aspect of the business. But the idea of teaming up with those characters, it could be a lot of fun. I like, even if it's his alter ego and I just get to do the animated version, that'd be a lot of fun. So anything. There's the short answer. Anything that Marvel wants me to do with Deadpool, I'll do it, because I love that character. Just work with the mouth. Love it.
Well, we love you playing Deadpool, so it's a perfect fit. Thank you for your question, James Gordon. Next up, we have a text question from Hassan. Let's see if we can pull that up here. Hi, Nolan. What's your favorite part of being Nathan Drake and Tony Stark, and do they have something in common?
They're both played by me, is what they have in common. I think the best part is getting to be this everyman kind of relatable hero figure who are both flawed in their own ways. I think that's what makes a good character is his vulnerability and his flaws. Tony's flawed majorly, but he's always trying to do the best he can. And I think that's where he has a lot in common with Nathan Drake. Nathan Drake he's not looking to go out and destroy the lost city of Shambhala. He's not looking to go out and kill a bunch of soldiers. They're just, it's a game and you got to get through that level. And, but he's the everyman who's just doing his best. I believe the catchphrase in the first game was, one ordinary man, one extraordinary adventure. So I think it's and where they differ obviously is one's a little more low key and the other one is super wealthy and massive ego, which usually gets him into his trouble. So they're just so much fun to play. Both characters have just been a blessing to my life and my career. I'm hoping everybody goes out there and loves this game, buys this game, and Marvel says, well, we got to do another one so we can all get back in there and reprise our roles, because it was just too much fun.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Hassan, for your question. Next up, we have a video question from Victoria. So let's welcome Victoria to the show. Hi, welcome, Victoria.
Hey, Victoria.
First off, I wanted to say that I'm a huge fan of your work and Uncharted and Nathan Drake. And Nathan Drake is probably my emotional support video game character in this tiring times.
Nice, a good one, a good support system. He's the kind of guy you can rely on.
Yeah. My question is, how did you get into the voice acting line of work?
Well, I was started in doing comedy and theater in New York, and when I moved to California, I was here for a short amount of time, and I landed a TV role on a show called Port Charles for about five years. And when it ended, one of my the other cast members said, "Hey, you should talk to my voiceover agent. You know, you're always goofing around with accents and different voices. You might be able to do something with that." And my wife, God bless her, had been telling me for years, trying to set me up on meetings with agents she knew who did voiceover. I'm like, no, I'm doing this acting. And she was right again, as she usually is. And but finally, I had 2 kids, and show was canceled, and I didn't know what to do. And it was just an opportunity. And I went to the meeting. And that agent, Pat Brady, is still one of my agents today. And I love this part of the business, because on camera, this is what I play. But in voiceover, I can be anybody or anything. And, you know, I mean, I got to be Nathan Drake. I got to be the Penguin, Richthofen, games. You know, I've been a Viking beaver in a cartoon. Go figure. Ninja Turtle, the Krang, monsters, creatures, dog. It's just, and I think part of maybe it's my ADD that I need to be constantly stimulated by different things to kind of keep it interesting and fresh. And the voiceover world always keeps it fresh. Now, I am talking to a few people about some on-camera possibilities again. But the voiceover world's been amazing for me, because it's kept, like I said, kept everything interesting and exciting. And it's also given me a lot of time to be with my kids as they've grown up. I haven't missed their plays or their football games or things like that. I've still been able to maintain a decent, normal family life, where a lot of my friends who might have been traveling from LA they have to go to live in Atlanta to do Walking Dead, for example, or a friend of mine, Todd Stashwick, on 12 Monkeys. He was in Toronto and missed birthdays. And, you know, there's always FaceTime and things like that. But, you know, he told me it took a toll on him. And I've been very fortunate that I didn't have to deal with that kind of thing. So I've got a pretty charmed life up to this point. And, but of course, now that my kids are older, sky's the limit. I'd like to come to England and I'd go to England and shoot a series with Ricky Gervais. That would be fun. That'd be crazy. I want to do Game of Thrones in Northern Ireland, part 2, like the sequel. You know, I don't think they're planning one, but that'd be that. I'm open to it.
Well,
Ned Stark lives.
If I hear that they're casting anywhere, I will definitely make sure your name is in the running. Hannah or Victoria, thank you so much for your video question.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day. Next up, we have a text question from Fenton. Let's see if we can get that up here. Okay, here, Fenton Barnhill says, given the recent news of the Last of Us television adaptation for HBO and the numerous failures of video game adaptations in cinema, like we were talking about earlier, do you think the format that television provides is better suited for video game adaptations?
Possibly, because the great thing about a video game is it's a multi-hour experience, and when you try to bring a video game down to a passive audience member 2-hour thing, when it can be 20 plus hours, you know, I think there's a distance there that it's hard to bridge. with a series, you got something interesting. You have the cliffhanger for the next week. It's kind of like, I got to get to the next level. So the episodes are, there's an impetus to tune in for the next one. Just like there is like, oh, I got to go to bed, I've got to work tomorrow, but I got to see what happens. So maybe that can lead to it. I think the biggest problem that games and adaptations to television or film have is the games are so beautiful and so well done. You want to make sure you're not repeating what you've done and what you've seen. But with The Last of Us, with what Neil did with The Last of Us and Last of Us 2, there's a lot of people who may never pick up a PlayStation controller and play that game, and he wants to tell that story. And it certainly has some, HBO and some great writers behind it, and great directors, and I think it has as good a chance as any to really hit the mark. It's tough though, because Neil already told a great story, so I think gamers might want to tune in to see how it's adapted it, and hopefully it brings in other viewers, like I said, that haven't played the game, so they can have that experience as well. But my thing has always been like, let's turn movies into games. Let's go the other way. I still have always thought the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo would be a great game. Figure that out. There's puzzles, there's solving, there's intrigue, there's murder. And I'd work on the accent to play Michael Blomkvist, because I can't be the girl with the dragon tattoo, because obviously I don't have a dragon tattoo.
Yeah, that's probably the only reason. But no, I mean, we were talking about it earlier, Nolan, when you were saying that, in a video game, you get to play the protagonist. Mm-hmm. Each player is the star. And so when it is adapted to screen, where that's taken away, it's hard to give an adaptation that's as fulfilling. Whereas maybe you just hit the nail on the head. If you take the adaptation the other way and take it from screen to video game, then you're adding something in. It's certainly a take on it that could work.
It could. And here's the thing. I'm really rooting for that series to do well, because I think there's, like I said, again, it's kind of in an episodic sense. It's not just a short 2.5 hour thing where you do it and that's that. You live with those characters over longer periods of time, just like you do in a game. So that could be a good one-to-one reason that has a better chance of success than just a straight film.
For sure. All right, I think we have one more text question we'll be able to get to today, and this is from Steven Summers. So let's pull up that question now. Steven Summers asked, do you personally want to voice Nathan Drake again, or are you happy with where the character left off?
I'm happy. Okay. I'm happy to where he left off, and it was great. And if that's it, that's it. And I'm very, very pleased. That being said, if they wanted to ever do it again, I'm in. It's such a part of my life. It's so much of me is in Nathan Drake, and that was part of, at the beginning, Amy Hennig's plan at the beginning was to, start to invited me, first of all, to put as much of myself in the character as possible. But as we went on, she knew me so well that she would start writing to my kind of my sensibilities and kind of like who I was. So the characters kind of merged. And I always joke, other than the fact that I can't climb a ladder, as well as Nathan Drake can climb a cliff. But yeah, I mean, it's that character's part of me, and I secretly, try to stay fit just in case they ever say, hey, do you want to do it again? Have you been running? Can you, because I don't want to be like Drake in a walker. Nobody's going to play that game. Nobody.
I still think there would be people who play that game. But
I think if Drake's legs ever get tired, he could just walk on his hands. I mean, his upper body strength is ridiculous.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. All arms. You guys, you can see Nolan on Retro Replay on YouTube. Don't forget. And of course, hear him in Marvel's Avengers when that game is released September 4th. Nolan, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And I know it's going to a good cause too. Everything, hope people get out there and donate. And yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for letting me keep doing what I get to do. Because without you, I'm just a guy who annoys people with voices. So thanks for the work.
This has been an absolute delight. So thank you again, Nolan.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
All right. Once more, folks, we want to thank our charity partner, Direct Relief, and encourage donating to them, which you can do at fandom.link/donate. We've got plenty coming up for you at Fandom, including the first installment of our new trivia show, Fandom 5, which will be Thursday, July 2nd at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 12 p.m. Pacific Time, with an episode focused on Pokemon trivia. So get ready. Then next week on Wednesday, July 8th at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, join us for our next Hey Fandom conversation with Robert Kirkman, creator of The Walking Dead. All right. Thanks again so much to our guest, Nolan North. That was so lovely. And thank you to all of you for joining us for another Hey Fandom. We'll be back with another installment soon. Thanks again, everybody.